everyone! Today we're doing a Japan tag, so thank you Sakanajin for tagging us. We will do our best. Well, tagging me. I don't know how much Jason is going to want to chime in, but...
Find out.
And Mana too. We've got Mana here. I don't know if she's going to chime in. We'll see. First of all, I would like to say how long we have been in Japan. I've been here for 7 years. Jason has been here for...
11.
11. I thought it was 10. Okay, so I started off in Isehara city in Kanagawa for an exchange when I was in high school, and then I came back after graduating university. I was on the JET program for 3 years in Saitama. Then I moved to Tokyo and we shacked up and we're living in Sin for a while until we got married, and just last year we've moved here to Tsukuba.
Studied abroad in Nagoya for 10 months, then went and taught English in Hiroshima for 3 years, and ended up in Tokyo, where I met my lovely wife.
No! Question number 1. Why did you move to Japan? So I moved here because I really liked my study abroad experience. I became interested in Japan. I think that's what this is going for. I became interested in Japan through the Morikami Museum, which is in Delray Beach, Florida, and we actually got married there. So it's kind of neat that that tiny little museum that started all of this, you know, has come full circle for us. So that's neat. Why did you move to Japan?
Well, I wanted to try and do something different after almost graduating college, so I came to study abroad and liked it so much. Been here ever since.
Yeah, I think the reason that I stay is because we have stuff like Skype and Facebook and FaceTime and all that, so I can still talk with Mama. Yeah. What's your favorite Japanese food and why? So I actually did a video on this a while back of my top 5 favorite Japanese foods, so you can just go check that out. I'll have the link up here, over here. What about you?
I have to say Okonomiyaki. Hiroshima Okonomiyaki is the best.
Why is it the best?
Oh, it's simple, but it's hard to make, and it takes some skill to make it, but it's just delicious. I could eat it every day.
Oh, Kansai Okonomiyaki. Question number 3. Where is your favorite place in Japan and why? I think my favorite place is in Okinawa, and kind of seems a little bit different from the rest of Japan, but I really enjoyed when we went to Iriomote Island and Taketomi Island, and there are not many people out there. It was gorgeous. It was very, very natural, and the beaches were amazing. I really do like beachy places.
Do love Okinawa. I love Hiroshima. I love Nagoya. But I have to say that one of my favorite places is definitely Kyoto, because of the mix of the traditional and also very modern city.
For cherry blossoms, though, the city that I used to live in, Hidaka, there's a station called Musashi Takahagi, and it's great for cherry blossom viewing because there's a beautiful row of trees there and not so many people hang out there. So if you're looking for good sakura. Question number 4. What is your favorite Japanese word or kanji and why? Whenever I'm reading or watching something funny, the word yare yare always comes up. Yare yare. Just kind of like, oh man, you know. But you see it everywhere, so it's almost like it can be a drinking game, like every time you see yare yare, you know. But you see it everywhere, and just every time I see it, I kind of feel like that, like, oh man, you know. Here we go.
I have to say my favorite word is okonomiyaki, because it's so delicious. So anytime I hear that word, I'm like...
I like jagaimo. Jagaimo. It was one of the first words we learned in my very first Japanese class in high school, jagaimo, and it just sounds so funny.
Sounds ginormous.
Jagaimo. Jagaimo. And anything with the jaga combination, like niku jaga, nandemo jaga.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What is your favorite thing about Japanese culture and why?
I think everybody is so nice to each other. Like everybody's really courteous and polite.
I think it's the
And they're very welcoming too.
Yeah, I think everywhere you go is going to have an asshole factor. I think that Japan kind of has a lower
surprisingly low.
Yeah. I mean,
for the number of people condensed together.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you go, there's going to be good ones and bad ones, but I think that Japan does have a pretty low asshole factor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think for me, this is more of a custom, but what I like is when you go into restaurants and things, you don't have waiters and waitresses and hostesses like hassling you, and there's no tipping. I love that. Yeah. Also, you know, when you're at your table, instead of the waitress coming and be like, you know, you feel like you're at tchotchkes or something, you know, hey, can I get you some fries? And they've got all their flair and everything, and they're just telling you the specials, and you just want to be left alone and talk or something, you know. What are we gonna get for dessert today? And it's, I don't like that. So here in Japan, you just press a button and they come over only when you press the button or call them over. What is the one thing that surprised you during your time in Japan and why?
The one thing, well, that would be more than one thing, but I think one thing when I first came here was the number of vending machines around Japan and the variety that they have in the vending machines is just awesome.
It's impressive.
Because, yeah, in the US, vending machines have maybe 5 options, but the ones here generally like 30. And a wide variety of tea as well, and different coffees and drinks and things. And it's just awesome.
In case, for those of you who have been with us for a while, you know that Jason loves tea. This is definitely a recurring theme with us. So I think there were several things that did surprise me. I think one of them that really got to me was when I was on the JET program. When you're a teacher in Japan, especially with public schools, you don't spend your whole career at just one school. You kind of move around in the district or the prefecture or wherever it was, and I didn't know that. So I had gotten pretty close with some of my coworkers, and we were friends and everything. And then it came, you know, March and April, and then I was told that they were going to leave. And some of them were leaving really, really far. This was before iPhones and, you know, Facebook caught on. And also, you know, public servants tend to keep, you know, off the grid a lot because there's this huge thing with privacy. So if you want to keep in touch with these people, they're very busy and it's a lot of work. So I was really surprised that I couldn't hang out with, you know, my new friends anymore. I thought I was going to spend the whole time with them, and then they were gone. So that really surprised me.
That happens a lot in Japan in general. Yeah. Like you get used to the people around you, and they move, they go home, they, you know,
they like transfer departments or get sent on an overseas assignment or something, and yeah. So that surprised.
That's tough.
Yeah, that surprised me. Also, geji, which are little house centipedes. Fuck them. Have you picked up any Japanese habits? May I tell this story for you?
Sure.
We went back to San Jose to visit friends and family, and we went to a restaurant. And we get our salad and everything, and Jason's, you know, he hasn't been home in a while, and he's like surprised. He's like, what, am I supposed to stab this with a fork? He wanted chopsticks, and he was like this close to asking for them, I think. So I think he's probably going to be carrying around some little portable ones. But it didn't stop there. So he ordered some, he asked the waitress if they had tea. And they said, yes, we do. And he is very into tea, so he gets excited and he says, you know, oh my goodness, what kind of tea do you have? You know, expecting. And the waitress just says, iced tea, you know.
There's only one tea, really, in the U.S.
And Jason is kind of sitting there looking like, okay, and? Speaking on the phone, definitely I do the bowing, you know. Just when you're speaking, you kind of splice it in with other things like, who, and, you know, Sakanajin was talking about this as well, you know, just like,
Or like agreeing, like even when you're not like actually agreeing with the person, but just like, I think I do that in English now. So even if I disagree, I'm like, yes, yeah, continue, yes.
We're a little too crazy.
Then when you're done, then I'll give you my argument.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question number 8. Where do you want to travel to next in Japan, and why?
I'd really like to go see a tea farm in Japan, maybe in Shizuoka or around Kyoto.
I would too.
Shizuoka would be really nice, and see how they make the tea and make it into tea and try different teas.
I've never been to a tea farm.
Yeah, me neither.
That would be fun.
It's a shame.
I would like to go to Kanagawa Prefecture. It's this tiniest little prefecture on, is it Shikoku? Or Shikoku, right?
Shikoku.
Right, and it's this tiny, tiny, tiny little prefecture. It's the smallest one, but everybody that I've met from there or who has visited there or has lived there, especially has lived there, has such great pride in this tiny little prefecture, and I would really like to find out why and taste their sanuki udon, because maybe there's something in it that makes people just love that place so much.
Yeah.
So I want to see what all the hype is about. I think that
would be
fun.
awesome.
Yeah. Question number 9. If you could start your life in Japan again, is there anything you would do differently and why? I would have saved more money, because I think I did go a little crazy. You know, you get to Japan and everything is cool and you want to collect it all and buy it all, and, you know, clothes and everything. So I would have saved more money. Also, I think I would have tried to muster more energy and said yes to more invitations so that I could have made more memories.
I think the same. I think I probably would study Japanese harder and better, you know, properly from the beginning, and also kept in touch with people that I met coming to Japan. That's another big thing, because you don't see them for very long, and a lot of people end up going home, so I think that is a big one.
Yeah, there is kind of a turnover, and you do have to say some goodbyes out here, so make some good memories while you can, and, you know, just nourish. And
just have fun, you know. It's no pressure, you know.
Yeah.
If you want to go travel, go travel.
And the last question: what is the best single piece of advice you can give to first-timers in Japan?
I think the best first advice, well, first is to study a little bit of Japanese before you get here, and then when you first communicate to people, start in Japanese. And then even if your Japanese is not very good, that makes people much more comfortable to respond to you and talk to you and help you.
Yeah.
And they'll be happy to do it, so for the most part.
Yeah.
But if you come up to people and start speaking in English, that can put some people off or make them a little nervous, so
yeah. I think
it might be more difficult that way.
I think that's great advice for just about any country that you would go to as well, is to, you know, try to make the effort beforehand as much as possible. Of course, you know, you can't, there's only so much you can do, especially just traveling, you know, and you're not intending to stay full, you know, for a very long time, but you just do your best, and, you know, any effort is appreciated, I think. The best piece of advice that I would give, along with what Jason said, is to just make an effort across the board. You know, try to accept as many invitations as possible, even if you don't really, even if you're not really feeling it. It's good to try things once, and if you don't like it, you've still got that memory, you've still got that story, and you've still got that experience, and maybe you could even use that to help other people too. So just try to be open-minded and, you know, do as much as you can. Drink a lot of caffeine or something, you know, stay awake as much as possible.
Yeah,
You're gonna need some energy out here.
And make Japanese friends too, because that really goes a long way. It really helps you out.
Yeah. And you do have to make a lot of effort to keep in touch with people. It's not as easy as just, you know, some Facebook likes from time to time. Oftentimes, you know, your friends, you know, a lot of people are just not comfortable with that kind of communication. So you do have to make some extra effort to keep in touch with people, I think.
Yep.
All right. So that is the end of our listy list. And I would like to tag some people who have maybe probably already been tagged. I would like to tag OkiNinjaKitty or Kitty Does Japan, the same person, but I'm not sure which channel she would like to do that on. And I'm not sure if she actually got tagged before. Maybe she did. Legit Outlaw, Miss Charlotte in Japan, Mr. JHill Life, Mr. DochiHoko, and IamKeevs, or IamKeeva. Do it!
That's it. Can't wait to hear the responses.
Yeah, so tell us what you think. Even if we didn't tag you, we'd still like to know.
That's right.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Watch her, subscribe to her, and love her.